Magandang araw. Welcome to SBS Filipino. I'm Mark Liabres, and in this two-part interview of Talking Sports, I'm very honoured to have with me a Filipino volcano who has helped change the landscape of the oval ball in the Philippines. Please give your undivided attention to Mr. Jake Letts. Mabuhay.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Good stuff. So why are you back in Australia?
So originally I was back for a friend's wedding. However, I'm with the Philippine Rugby Football Union, so we decided to throw a recruitment day here in Sydney. A lot of our players originally were based here in Sydney through Filipino families and our upbringing here. So it's really good to be home and to obviously give back in each way I can.
Well, welcome back, and I can see the weather's just holding out for you. Where in the Philippines is your Filipino heritage located, and which side of the book or tree is Filipino?
So my mother's side, 9 times out of 10, that's always the case. However, my mother's from Bicol originally. Growing up, though, we went there for family reunions, and from there, my mother's one of 10. So a big family, a lot of cousins, and they're now all over the Philippines. Porto Galera, Baclaran, General Manila. It's crazy, and it's good to be home.
So you're back for work. So that means you're in the Philippines. How long have you been living there, and what is life like there for you now?
So I've been based in the Philippines now 2 years full time. I've been going back playing for the national team for the last 12 years. So basically my role now has developed and evolved. I'm now the national team's head. So I look over all the national programs purely because of the fact that I was one of their products, I guess, growing up. So I've been there for 11 to 12 years now, and I know all the players, I know all the coaches, I know the board of directors. So right now my current deal with the Philippine Rugby Union is the national team's head.
When did you first pick up rugby ball?
I was 6 when I first picked it up. I basically followed my 2 elder brothers into it and my father. So it's kind of I couldn't imagine life without rugby. It's opened up opportunities for me throughout the world, in Japan, in the Philippines, all over Asia. It's unbelievable. Who would have thought that having a Philippine passport can open up so many opportunities?
Well, I actually saw your first photo, and it was the under-19s. Tell us how it all began for you with the Filipino Volcanoes.
Yeah, so basically, I was recruited in 2005 to play for the Volcanos in the Southeast Asian Games. So my brother was the first Philippine foreigner to be recruited, and then he was like, "Oh, look, I've got a younger brother. Can he come trial?" And that's when I gave up my schoolies trip. I was in year 12. I had it all booked. I think it was like $450 at the time. And then my brother was like, "Do you want to come trial for the Philippines?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" And then, so I sold my ticket and I went there and played for the Philippines, and we won the gold as an exhibition sport. And then ever since then, I've been going back every year.
That's awesome. Jake, look, I have to mention the infamous bench campaign. And for all the people that don't know, the Volcanoes players did a photo shoot with bench underwear, and when the campaign was launched, the billboards had to be taken down within the hour. Tell us what's going on there, and how did it all make you feel?
Yeah, it actually really is a funny story. So basically, Bench, I think it was 2011, they were our headline sponsor, and they said they wanted to do a calendar to not only promote the Philippine Rugby Football Union, but also raise a bit of money for us. So traditionally, they were like, "Great, let's do a calendar shoot." So all we were told was we had a squad of 30, and they wanted to pick 12. So we had portrait shots in training camp, and then we had like a team meeting. We did a full team photo, and then they read out 12 players' names. It was hilarious. So basically, Ned Stevenson was one of them, Terry Carroll, Oliver Saunders from memory, but none of us had ever done anything like it. And when they read out each other's names, it was like winning the lottery or something at the time. But the funny thing was, we actually weren't told what it was going to be other than a calendar. So we didn't get told about the billboard. We thought it was going to be one billboard, and that was it. Little did we know that they ended up doing, I think, 5 billboards. It was up for an hour. I was actually in Australia. I'll never forget the story. I was having breakfast. My mum watches the TFC. So we're sitting there eating breakfast, and then she was like, "Is that you?" And I looked at the TV, and that's them pulling it down. So it was quite funny. But to be fair, it really did, in terms of brand awareness and who the Philippine Volcanoes were, it really worked. But yeah, it is definitely a marketing ploy for Bench, and I think they got their bang for their dollar, and so did we.
Well, I think that's actually a unique story for any Filipino national side. Back to rugby, and where have you travelled to with the Volcano team?
The Volcanoes open up so many opportunities for young athletes and young Filipinos in general. So basically, we've been through all the way from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Sri Lanka, India, Malaysia, Russia, UAE, China, all over Asia we've been, and lucky enough in 2013 we qualified for the World Cup, and it took us as far as Moscow. So that's definitely the pinnacle for us as a rugby nation and as any rugby player to play in a World Cup. So that's the furthest it got us. It opens up opportunities for sure.
What advice can you give any boy or girl who's considering joining the Volcanoes?
I'd definitely sign up. For it, in terms of sport in general, like I think sport as any human being or as any child, it really does create. It develops values. It develops what a player wants to be. I think not only just in life in general, but you create great mates from it, family from it, and you'll find that it's always something you want to build on every year. So it's really an investment in what you want to achieve, not only on the field, but literally memories. Like for the last 11 years, I've made the best of friends everywhere around the world, not just the Philippines, not just Australia, but you'll find that the people that you meet and the relationships that you make playing sport, and especially for the Philippines, you'll take with you forever.
That's all we have time for. Please tune in next Monday to hear the rest of my chat with Philippine Volcano, Jake Letts. Maraming salamat. Be sure to connect with us at Radio 97.7 FM, at Facebook, SBS Filipino, and visit www.sbs.com.au/Filipino. Ingat ka.